So now let's start with Jaunty's design. So I remember when we were analyzing the design submissions, me and Devashish were having a lot of conversation regarding the manufacturability of this particular product. So Devashish, let's start with you. What are your thoughts on this design?
See, firstly, I thought it was like overall concept-wise, it was very well thought of, and like there were things that would have actually worked for the kids, teaching-wise and all that with the board and stuff, right? And it was easy to use, and it was decently safe as well. But if we come back to the manufacturing part of things, especially if you choose wood to make it, it's gonna be like it's gonna be a bomb to make just one piece, and forget about replicating it for on a mass scale. The kind of curves this guy wants to do in wood is just like it's easier said than done, basically.
And what if we replace wood with plastic?
Yeah, then you can use a different kind of mold and make something, and you can work around that, and that would still make it easier. But wood for sure doesn't make sense at all.
Okay. And what are your thoughts on the design?
It looks a little bit odd, to be honest. Like, you consider the face. Like, I'm very stunned by the face. Always looking into my eyes, kind of. And yeah, it's a little bit crazy, very creative. I love this wooden tray, the play box. So overall, I think it's a very good chair toy for kids to play with and to store. Like, you can have the rocking component optionally, so sometimes you can put it off and sometimes you can use it. In general, I would say it's very creative and multi-versatile. But from the manufacturing point of view, I have to agree 100%. Like, if you want to do this out of wood, it's gonna be a pain, nothing else.
I think the kind of colors he has used and the kind of presentation he has went for, it really makes it a little bit more attractive.
Yeah, more.
The entire presentation is very attractive. So do you have any inputs on that?
Yeah, like, it's great that you can have it in different colors, and then also not all of the things are the same color. You can have like this rocking thing in different colors and the wooden tray in different colors, and so yeah.
Presentation wise, it is good. I mean, I feel it is going too far as creativity is concerned. Manufacturability, both Timo and Devashish pointed it out. It is super difficult to make at a scale. Secondly, too many curves, very difficult to maintain, and it would occupy a lot of space also. As a parent of a kid, I don't see it going into the market and buying it. That is my
I think as designers, people tend to take a lot of creative freedom, right?
Yeah.
They'd like to be very creative, but at the same point, they need to understand about the real world scenario of actually making one, right? You don't want to just make a design. You actually want a product that's in the market, right? That you've actually made yourself, right? That would make more sense. But you can't just say I took the creative freedom to build something interesting and it's not really a functional product. It doesn't make sense at all.
Also, like, at least you should consider this up to a certain point, because like, you're working on this project for, let's say, I don't know, 2 weeks or something like this.
Yeah,
you're gonna go to a technical product designer, to a manufacturer. He's gonna look at it. No, cannot do.
He's gonna send you off right away.
Yes.
Yeah.
So consider this already in your first design. How are we gonna manufacture this? How are we gonna manufacture this at a decent price on a big scale? Because otherwise, you're gonna work on a project that will be shut off.
I think that is kind of an issue with the kind of with designers and engineers in the sense, right? People forget about the parametrics of things.
Yeah.
That is an issue, and when they're designing something, they don't really think in the direction of parametrics, right? But even with engineers, I've seen that in the industry, right? So what happens is, even when they're working with parametrics, they don't really understand the limitations of the kind of machines they're working on, or the kind of process they want to follow. So that is something that they really need to work on to actually be ready to actually work and contribute positively in an industry. Otherwise, hawa mein to kuch bhi bana ke lenge. It doesn't really make sense, right?
Yeah. So Timo, what I would like to know is, how can a designer make sure at an initial level that he will not make an unmanufacturable product?
Well, get yourself a little bit educated in this field. Have 1 or 2 designs ready. You can also discuss like a car or this table or whatever is around you sit together with an engineer and ask him about, okay, how is this actually manufactured? How do we do this? How do we manufacture this? So you will get like a good understanding on how to do this on a big scale, how it is then actually operated on the shop floor. Just get experience. Ask
And if
questions.
you choose a direction, at least like study more about it, right?
Yes.
So if you're choosing a particular direction with wood, you understand the limitations of working with wood.
Yes.
That's the whole point, right?
Yes.
You're working with, I mean, I'm just giving a random example, right? So if you're working with a CNC machine, you understand the limitations of it and then work around it. That's the whole point of actually contributing to with a design, right?
Yeah,
That
get
is
practical
something-
yourself.
Exactly.
Make your hands dirty.
Exactly. You have to do that. Without that, without getting your hands dirty, without actually going and doing things in real life, you know, anybody can sit and sketch and make things, right? But if you actually have to make like a real world product out of it, you have to get your hands dirty. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
Right.
What's that?
So experience, what Timo said. As a youngster, the best thing you can do for yourself is to get as many experiences as you can.
Hands-on
And
experience.
that's how you're gonna learn. That's how you're gonna build potential for yourself, and that's how you are going to. Once you take experience, you will learn more. You will build potential and credibility for yourself. So take part into such competitions. You get a different perspectives. You get different point of views, and that's how you learn.
Mhm.
So yeah.
I think it's not even about growing up. Even you can even start right now. Like if I talk about me and my work, there's still things I learn in life, right? There's always more things you can learn about, and you try and incorporate that in your work. That is how I work. That's just how my life is. Like, you know, there are so indefinite things in the world you can learn about. Even if you're talking about manufacturing, right? There's so many different directions you can work on, so many different kind of material, so many different kind of processes. Even if you start today, you'll have 100 different things to go and learn. Unless you have that kind of mindset where you want to actually improve yourself, it's not really gonna work out, you know.
Yeah.
That's how I
You have to stay foolish a little bit.
yeah, you have to stay foolish, you know. You have to make some mistakes, you have to fuck up shit, and that's how you learn. That's how you understand
You
where.
learn from mistakes. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So you understand where you made a mistake, and you try and figure out a different approach to it. You know, the second approach might still end up being a mistake, right? But that's how you learn. You turn it into a third approach. That's the way you should look at things, you know, and not just like I made this. This is how it should be, and that's done. Like, you know, that's
So
not how
do you
life
guys
works.
think like if we had made this a collaborative project, if we had asked the industry designers to collaborate with mechanical engineers or maybe with other engineers, they would have made some better manufacturable products?
I'm
Probably,
sure.
yes.
I'm sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
And when you collaborate, you get different point of views.
Yes.
When you get different point of views, there is a scope of betterment. So obviously we are, and in fact we should look into that direction, that for, let's say, for next design challenges, we should ask people to collaborate. And
Yeah, and we are working on it actually,
Right.
because
Yeah.
with IYDC4 we are going to make sure that it's going to be a collaborative project, and I would say participants from different fields are coming together to design superior products.
Yeah.
So we'll make sure with
Build
IYDC4.
Yeah, absolutely. A team always makes it better, you know, and it's always good to have like a third person perspective on your
Yeah,
things
true.
from start to finish. For example, even when you're ideating, you know, it's better to have different inputs to it than your way of thinking about it, right? So somebody else might come in and give you better ideas about something that you're not that familiar with. That's the whole point of people working in a team and collaborating together. That's I think is the essence of the whole thing, and it would surely make more sense if, you know, we start having more collaborative like competitions where people from different genres and different kind of fields can come together and actually work on things and, you know, come up with a better product that is overall more well rounded off.
So now we'll discuss about Omkar design. So what do you think about his design?
So this was also it's quite a big thing. I think we'll take half of the room of the chart. It's very versatile. Like there's many things to consider for storage, to play, to lie around, to sit and do this and do that. The special Balcom chair, in addition to the whole bed castle design, I would say. It's not so easy to compare this project to the other ones, because for the other ones, like, you would have a chair and a table or something, and this is, yeah, I would consider it as to be like half of a castle. I think children would love it, to be honest. Like it's really, really cool, and they can play and do a lot with it. Yeah, manufacturability. it's a big project, so this is nothing you can like easily produce for the masses.
Right.
The manufacturing of each of these maybe taking like, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks or something like this until you have everything
it's
assembled.
still very doable in the sense.
It is doable,
right? Yeah.
definitely. It is very doable.
It's nothing that's very
Yeah.
like nothing intricate, nothing very. For example, you don't have to make like expensive molds to make something.
No,
Stuff like that.
It
Very manufacturable. I thought it was like it was engaging, it was fun, it was a utilitarian design. It, growing up also the kid can use it. They can use it as a bed, and I thought the attention to detail on the thing was phenomenal. I loved that.
Exactly, like
Like
the rough
he's
edges.
absolutely ticked every box on the brief that we've given them, and even safety wise, it was
Yeah.
like top marks from me.
Yeah, I agree with you that it is like a manufacturable design, no doubt. But when we talk about the one section of this particular design, the ball chair, which is here mentioned, the multifunctional ball chair. So I have a little, I would say, concerns regarding that particular aspect of the design. So can you explore it more in terms of manufacturability?
So that ball chair, frankly, again, I mean, there is a lot of mix of materials. I mean, there's a lot of wood and there is a lot of polymer and stuff. So I see the same problem with what we discussed with Parth. It is not off the shelf product. You can get it developed for your children, and it is really well executed idea. Attention to detail is great, and the safety has been taken in consideration and all that. But putting that product together, you have to also look into polymer processing and the wooden processing and everything, and then you have to club it, and then you have to bring it to market. I don't see it as as a businessman. I would not see it, building this product and launching it into the market. That is my concern with the product. I am happy the way he has developed this idea. So full marks for that. But I have reservations as a product. I don't see it like a product.
I don't really see too many problems with that actually. If that's the direction somebody wants to go, right? For example, parents all the time go and buy like bunk beds or some stuff like that for the kids, right? So in that kind of situation, if you've got like a pre-arranged setup that has everything that they need, I think it kind of makes sense. And
as far as
you
Indian
can also build on it and improve the overall functionality of the things, and it would last them for a long through the years. Like it won't even stop at 5 years. They could still probably use it till they're like 12 years old or something. So it's like a long-term investment. So I think it kind of absolutely makes sense.
Okay.
And I was very happy with the design. This was definitely in my top 3.
Yeah.
That is what I was about to add. Like the design, it is a kind of design which will work for many years, right? Because as it is a whole bed setup, it can last longer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they've got like storage space and space to keep their toys and hang out some stuff outside, and it's got the metal base at the back and things like that.
So the whole multifunctional product.
Very. I thought it was like completely utilitarian. Every part of the design you could use for something or the other, and it was very well thought of.
Considering the chair, so this looks like it's made out of plastic. So we're talking about molding again. I'm not sure how the child would be able to use it without a parent being around. The child cannot set it up properly. And also, like, you need some kind of mechanism to lock up the parts, because otherwise the chair is going to fall apart constantly.
But anyways, you don't expect a kid under 5 years old to actually do it themselves, right? They'd have a caregiver who's taking care of them, or like a parent, or somebody who's actually setting it up for them. We won't expect a 2 to 5 year old kid to actually set it up for themselves and use it for themselves and put it back again.
Yes, no, but the other designs we were discussing, the kid can use by themselves. There's nothing like you have to set up or something like this. You can
Because it is simpler. This has a lot more features to it. It's got it's lot more details to it. If you look at like a simple chair, like the kid wouldn't need somebody to set it up for them, right? But this, because it comes with so many functions, right? So I don't see that as a negative point for the overall design.
And not talking about the negative points, but what I feel is it feels like two different products. Like the chair feels like a different product altogether, and the bed looks like a different product altogether. So if it would have been,
I think he's tried to integrate our brief with his design in this sense, because we also wanted we specifically mentioned where some kid can sit and eat and stuff like that. So he's tried to incorporate that in the design, and the chair that you're talking about is actually a result of that. I'm sure there'd be a better way to do it. There'd be more safer way to do it. It can be improvised for sure, but I think this was like a very good approach.
Great.
Right.
Yeah.
So there is little. I mean, we differ on certain things, but what you said, I agree to certain things. But that's. I mean, the polymer and wooden is what. I mean, that combination, I feel it is difficult to bring together and make it commercialize.
If we talk about Indian consumer in general, they usually do not tend to invest in products which will be used for a shorter span, right? And with this particular product, it can be used for a really long duration.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. So it's not even limited to a kid from like 2 to 5 years of age. They probably end up sleeping on this bed till they're like 12 or something, right? Plus they can also sit on it, study there, eat there. There's a lot of storage space in here for them to, whether it's their toys or their books or their even clothes for the example, and they can hang some stuff on the railings that they've got there. So it's very engaging, I felt, and it was like a wholesome design in the sense where kids can use it for a long time. They can use it for a lot of different things than just like whether to sit or sleep on it or things like that. So I
it can be their go-to place. Actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Like he said, it's like half a castle in there for the kids, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be damn fun for somebody who's like 5 years old.
I would like to add something to your point. You said that the consumers would be going for long-lasting products. As far as I have observed in India, this has not really arrived yet. Like I would say, actually, many things that you can buy here from the local market, they look to be not so sustainable.
Right.
And they look worn off also quite quickly. Like, okay, depending on what you buy, of course. But as we have agreed, like this is a very big product. It's a very big project.
True.
Something your child can use easily for, let's say, approximately 10 years.
Exactly.
And this is actually also where we should drive the design and the industry to make something sustainable, to make something long-lasting,
Yeah.
Agreed,
that you
agreed.
do not trash after 2 years or something like this. So
Yeah,
you
true.
make it out of proper material, you plan it thoroughly, you make it absolutely perfect, and then it should be also resistant for a long amount of time. Actually, it should be used for a long amount of
Yeah.
time. Like this
But
is where we should drive.
There's also this thing where the monetary aspect of things come into factor.
Yeah. So even in the break, we were discussing the inequality that you noticed. Extreme poverty and extreme richness in India. So there are specific. I mean, there will be people who are consumer of this kind of product, but largely the mass in India. I mean, there will be less people who will be interested to buy this kind of product.
Mhm.
Maybe in a country where the middle class is in a very very big size, or I would say upper middle class. Let's say in a country like China, this kind of product can thrive. But in India, there would be a little less number of people who would pick. So the kind of investment would go into building something like this will be difficult to get back. So that is a challenge. I see it. Otherwise, I'm happy with the way he has executed the idea.
Mhm.
No, I
Yeah,
would
and
like to
this-
add.
yeah.
I would like to add one thing that in Indian context, if we talk about the middle class thing, so it is a legacy of like we pass on our things to our further generation. So if this product comes to the manufacturability and in market, so it is a very good product that it can turn into a legacy that okay, if I have a child and he will pass on. I mean, if it continues to a decade, so it can pass on to my child and they can pass on to until it's worn out and we can throw out in some place.
Yeah,
But
that's
I
what
think
makes it more sustainable.
in
right?
India, it's we can
That's
take
the
it
point.
consideration.
Even if it's used for 10 years only, I think that's already a great
makes it
success.
worth it.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
And
Definitely.
you go and buy a bed in the market, right? Like a wooden bed for your kids, like
Yes.
a bunk bed or something, and you buy something like this. This is more unique. This is more engaging for the kids and more fun for them. And price point wise, it still be like 19-20 around, like similar.
I don't think needs to be.
So see, I personally agree with Kunal's point of view in this particular thing. See, because the reason why it will be a great success for middle class or upper middle class family, because it requires an entire room, right?
Yeah.
So there are majority of the people living in 1 BHKs and 1 RKs and all.
True.
So we need to have a separate room for this kind of setup.
But
it
you know
cannot be
what
one
happens
business.
is when you're making something, you have a target audience in your mind.
Yes.
You can't sell everything to everybody.
Agreed.
True.
You know,
True.
that's just how it goes.
Yes.
So if you make something like this, you have to have like a target audience that can actually buy it and they'll use it for the years. They have the space for it. That's the whole point of this thing. Not everything is for everybody to
Everyone.
buy, right?
Yeah.
So that point is like very important to understand when you're actually trying to build something. Like, what is your target audience? Who are you building this for?
Yeah.
What problem does it solve for them? That's very critical when you're making something, I feel.
Agreed, agreed.
True.
So I think Omkar, you have managed to convince Devashish, and you have managed to make sure that Devashish is on your side.
He is your consumer.
Yeah, he is your consumer, so maybe
He's
few years down the line he is going to buy your
he's
product for
getting-
sure.
I
His
would-
customer, exactly.
Yeah, I wouldn't even fit on his bed. No, I'll customize it to my
Okay,
size or
Devashish,
something.
Omkar, please work on the manufacturability right away. You have one consumer in mind.
Yeah.
So now turning towards the Rohit based design. So
Yeah.
Let's go.
let's
What?
discuss his design.
I'm just imagining you playing in this.
On the
This silly name, checking for new motorcycles and like whatever else you want to do.
and
in the
have
bag,
like some
you know.
toy cars and stuff on it. No?
Yeah,
Like,
Let's
if I
put
was a
some
kid.
silencer to this.
Yes. Finding a way to make that chair rotate on its own.
That'd be fun though.
Great.
Yeah, so now we'll be discussing Rohit's design.
Rohit, yeah.
So please.
So, as far as presentation is concerned, I feel two designs really stand out for me. That is, one is G-Varghese and second is Rohit Bhai. Very clean and nice presentation. I can relate to this product really well. I feel if as a businessman, I invest into this product, I can get my money back. So I would love to invest on this kind of product. I feel there is a need. I mean, it has a very good proposition. I really like this product. Very well developed idea.
I thought it was very cool how he took inspiration from, for example, like Lego. No?
Lego.
And this could also turn into like do-it-yourself, cross-functional, like a full range of furniture,
Absolutely.
which makes a lot of sense. I feel like you can pull things out of here, put it there, make a bigger chair, make a bigger table, make things from what you already have. Like you do it with Lego, right? You just use basic building blocks and build something out of it. And I thought that was a very fun approach. I love the presentation and the research he put into it. I thought it was very safe and fun. Even the name was super interesting. So that was also a plus point. The design was super practical. It looks inexpensive to make, and you can really easily replicate it. So I think all of these factors go in his favor. He was in my top 2 designs for sure.
Absolutely.
So just to be critical, there's one thing which I found out in his design was I would say the multiple joiner which he has used, the 4-legged joiner. So he has made one end smaller than the other one, which just makes it a little difficult for using it for multi-purpose use, right?
100%.
So he cannot use the same joiner for both the ends. So if he had made that particular joiner in such a way that it can be used for both the ends, we can save an entire cost of one mold. Right?
For sure. And that was the whole point of this design, right? It's supposed to be like a cross-functional stuff that you can interchange and interuse and use it for different functions.
Yeah.
And to make it cheaper. So, but this is like a small detail.
Yeah.
He's worked really hard on the overall project.
Yeah.
So I think, he can improve it there, but overall I think the renders are beautiful, the colors are good, looks like it's super cheap to make. And it can go in production right away. It looks like already 90% of the product that we can expect out of a design like that.
Yeah, I think we can honestly say that this was one of the most well presented designs.
This was my favorite among all this entry, and definitely, I mean, the whole range of furniture can be developed with the same concept.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you can have the kids playing with it and assembling it, and it gives them more like cognitive function just to understand how
Correct.
things work and what fits into what and what works. And it just, even growing up, it doesn't have, like, not a 2-year-old kid's not going to do that, but maybe like a 5, 6, 8-year-old kid, 100% it makes sense. And their younger siblings can use it after them, and I think it's a beautiful design.
very well detailed out. Small attention to detail, like the notch he has given on the back of the chair
For the
and
bag.
For the bag.
and the storage part in the bottom of the chair, which also gives stability to the chair. So I personally loved Rohit's work.
Yeah. I loved his approach. I loved the end result he got to.
Yeah.
Absolutely professional.
So Timo, considering Rohit's design and the overall approach which he has chosen for his design, and considering the international market, do you think this product has a potential to be a hit in the international market?
Oh, definitely. Like the that you can have it in different colors. It is easy to manufacture. It is easy to assemble. I see this totally as a like. You can have this to be sold in IKEA all over the world. To be honest, it's easy to assemble. It's easy to clean. You can build new forms and shapes and chairs out of it. I really love the presentation. It's super clean, thought thoroughly from the beginning to the end. Maybe like the minor mistake he made that he from the joints, that one side is a little bit longer than the other ones. This could be improved. It is made out of wood, which is sustainable, polypropylene. Probably also you can like use a high percentage of recycled plastics already. So yeah, this is ready to go into the market basically. Only thing I was curious, you could say, like the box below the chair, if this is gonna affect the ergonomics for the child. This is the only thing where I would say like, okay, maybe like we should build this actually and then have children sit on it and see if like the box will affect the child
chair,
sitting somewhere like I
inside,
don't know.
yeah.
And then also concerning the age group of 1 to 5. There's no safety to put a child at the age of 1 or 2 even on this. Maybe from age of 3 you could start putting your child on this. But then extending the age group up to 6, 7, 8, 9, something like this, you can still use this chair. So it's great.
Yeah,
Really
actually, now that you have pointed it out, I could see that it would be difficult to step on that box. So maybe that the front notch need to be made a little more broader, so it can be utilized as a step or something. Yeah.
Yeah.